So here we are in the glass house. This is now known as the Camellia House, and it was built in 1823 by Digby Willoughby. Originally, this was at great expense created to house the Camellia collection he brought over from East Asia. Little been known to him, the conditions of this room in support of an underground irrigation system, which was intended to create the dense humid atmosphere of China and Japan, was actually not needed for these plants. Outside, the Camellia now thrives in the British climate. Another problem is that these plants are diseased. When they flower, they're a winter flowering plant, but when they do flower in early January to March, the flower heads themselves fall off prematurely, and when they are in bloom, they have no natural scent. Secondly, they're infested by a black aphid, which causes this sooty mould, which you'll see on the plants themselves. When Jason entered this glass house, this Camellia House, he noticed people were kind of walking in and walking out fairly nonchalantly. That gave him the idea for using biodata to draw people's attention back to these plants and their stories within it.
So I've been working with plant data, using sensors to take electrical signals from plants and convert those into MIDI signals, and then through those generating music and sound. Every time I would come here, I would just leave with more questions and thinking, what is it? Is it about the health of the plants? Is it about the health of people? What are the questions and what are the things that I'm exploring? There is the plants, there is the space, and there is the sound. A really interesting thing actually happened when I was in the studio in Manchester, and I've never really had this in just the short space of time that I've been working with biodata from plants, was that I actually physically felt unwell and agitated. And at the time I didn't really fully realise or feel that it was because of what was being generated by, emotionally that was being generated by the music of the plants. I just found that it had a detrimental effect on me. I wanted to keep an element of space so that when people come into the space and they experience through their eyes, through temperature, through sound, I still wanted for there to be a thing where people could still contemplate and think about the things and the questions that I'm asking about well-being, about our own place in a space and how that makes us feel, and the environments that we maybe have to live in that aren't right for our well-being, be that the office or the home or outside, wherever that might be.
And it's unpacking. Shall I give you a hand with these?
On the performance days, there'll be a musician who will be responding to that sound that's been generated by those plants. And nothing is finished. It doesn't feel like it's completed and there it is. there's always more questions, there's always new questions, and it's really made me think a lot about living things in different environments, and having collaborated with the plants to bring that to people. I think it's been a really strange process, actually, and a strange time. It's very much about, these are the explorations and these are the things that I'm experimenting with. The issues around, say, climate change and the environment and recycling and all the stuff that we're kind of talking about and that are very much in the public domain. I feel like I want to explore those things. We're all aware of it in some shape or form, however big or however small. Maybe if someone comes into a space like this with one intention and walks out with other questions or other thoughts, for me, really, that's kind of what I want the work to do.
So when you come and enter the Camellia House on your visit, you'll notice a very beautiful melancholic kind of sounds resonating all around the building. You will be drawing attention to the music first and foremost, but what we want you as a visitor to do is to actually look and feel with the plants themselves. It's an all integral auditory experience, which is just unique to this site, but it's something that will draw you in, listen to the stories of the plants, and actually for you to engage with nature once again.